Ladies and gentlemen, life does not transform in one giant leap. It changes slowly, almost invisibly, through the little choices we make each day. Many people wait for a miracle, a lucky break, or a perfect opportunity, but the truth is simple: your habits decide your future. If you want to change your life forever, don't chase miracles. Master your daily actions. Let me share with you 3 powerful habits that can completely reshape your future if you practice them consistently. Win your mornings. Your morning is not just the beginning of your day, it is the foundation on which your entire life rests. Think about it. When you wake up, your mind is fresh, your energy is unshaped, and your attitude is still being molded. That first hour after you open your eyes carries more weight than most people realize, because it sets the tone for how you will think, act, and respond for the rest of the day. If you win your mornings, you are already halfway to winning your life, because discipline, focus, and clarity are born in the early hours before the world distracts you with its noise. Most people lose their day before it even starts. They grab their phone, scroll through endless feeds, absorb negativity from the news, or compare themselves to others on social media. Without even noticing, they hand over control of their emotions to the outside world. Instead of being the driver of their day, they become passengers, reacting to whatever pops up on a screen. This one habit alone destroys confidence, drains energy, and steals focus. That is why changing how you start your mornings is not just a productivity hack. It is a life-changing decision. When you wake up with intention, everything feels different. Imagine beginning your day with silence, breathing deeply, and reminding yourself of your goals and who you want to become. Instead of being pulled in 1,000 directions, you are anchored to your vision. Then imagine moving your body, even for a few minutes, stretching, walking, or exercising, so your energy rises instead of falling back into laziness. Add to that the practice of feeding your mind something valuable, whether it is a book, an inspiring podcast, or even journaling your thoughts. These are not complicated rituals, but they carry a hidden power. They tell your brain, I am in control. I decide the direction of my life. Think about it this way: your morning is the steering wheel of your day. If you grab it firmly and guide it with focus, your day is structure, and your actions align with your dreams. But if you let go and drift, the world will take control, pulling you into distractions, frustrations, and wasted time. Too many people wonder why they feel exhausted, unmotivated, or unproductive, yet the real answer is hidden in those first hours of the day. A chaotic morning creates a chaotic life. A disciplined morning creates a disciplined future. It is not about waking up at 4 a.m. or following someone else's perfect routine. It is about designing mornings that serve your future instead of stealing from it. Maybe for you, it is waking up just 30 minutes earlier to plan your day, to reflect on your goals, or to do something meaningful before the world demands your attention. The key is consistency, not perfection. Small changes repeated daily build habits, and habits build destiny. When you choose to win your mornings, you also win your self-respect. There is a special kind of pride that comes from knowing you are living with discipline instead of excuses. That pride becomes momentum, and momentum becomes transformation. Every great leader, every successful entrepreneur, every person who has achieved greatness will tell you one simple truth: they did not stumble into success at noon. They built it in the quiet hours of the morning, when the world was still asleep and distractions had not yet awakened. And here is something powerful: your morning does not just affect you, it affects everyone around you. If you show up stressed, rushed, and unprepared, that energy spills into your family, your work, and your relationships. But if you show up centered, calm, and focused, you become a source of strength for others. By winning your mornings, you are not only building your future, you are lifting the people connected to you. That is the power of starting strong. Feed your mind with wisdom every day. Your mind is the most valuable asset you will ever own. It is not your house, not your bank account, not your car, and not even your career. All of those things are temporary, but your mind is the factory that creates every possibility in your life. If your thoughts are limited, your life will always feel limited. If your thinking is shallow, your results will remain small. But if you feed your mind with wisdom every single day, you begin to unlock the potential that already lives inside of you. Knowledge is not simply power. It is the raw material for transformation. The world today is overflowing with noise. You are bombarded with endless streams of information, social media updates, gossip, meaningless entertainment, and distractions designed to steal your time. And the danger is this: if you do not actively choose what to put into your mind, the world will choose for you, and it will not choose wisely. Just as your body becomes unhealthy when you eat junk food every day, your mind becomes unhealthy when you constantly consume negativity, distractions, and shallow content. Garbage in, garbage out, wisdom in, greatness out. It really is that simple. Feeding your mind with wisdom does not require you to spend hours locked in a library or dedicate half your life to study. It begins with small, intentional decisions. It could be reading 10 pages of a powerful book that teaches you about leadership, growth, or resilience. It could be listening to an inspiring podcast while you drive or exercise. It could be spending 10 quiet minutes journaling your thoughts and reflecting on what you have learned from your mistakes. The point is not the size of the effort, but the consistency of the practice. Small drops of wisdom added daily will one day overflow into an ocean of strength and clarity. Think for a moment about the people you admire, those who seem to walk into every room with confidence, clarity, and direction. Do you believe they were simply born that way? Of course not. They trained their minds day after day to think bigger, to stay disciplined, and to see opportunities where others only saw problems. The difference between a person who complains and a person who creates is not luck. It is the quality of their thoughts. And the quality of thoughts is always shaped by what you feed your mind. There will always be temptations to waste your mental energy on distractions. It feels easy to scroll through endless posts or binge, watch shows that add nothing to your growth. But here is the hard truth: easy choices create a hard life, while hard choices create an easier life. Taking the harder path of discipline, choosing wisdom over entertainment, will open doors you never imagined. Every time you choose to feed your mind instead of numbing it, you are investing in the person you are becoming. The beautiful thing about wisdom is that it multiplies. When you learn something valuable, it does not just stay with you, it influences how you act, how you speak, and how you solve problems. If you read a book on communication, you become a better friend, a better partner, and a better leader. If you study stories of resilience, you find strength to keep going when life tries to break you. If you listen to someone who has achieved what you desire, you shorten your learning curve and save yourself from unnecessary mistakes. Wisdom is not just knowledge stored in your brain. It is fuel that powers every area of your life. Remember, your mind is like a garden. If you do not plant the seeds of wisdom, weeds of doubt and negativity will grow automatically. You cannot expect greatness to bloom if you are feeding your thoughts with nothing but distractions. But if you water your mind daily with ideas that uplift you, challenge you, and push you higher, you will one day look back and realize that your thinking has carried you further than luck ever could. Protect your time and energy. Time is the one resource you will never get back. You can lose money and earn it again. You can lose opportunities and create new ones. But once time is gone, it is gone forever. Every day you wake up with 24 hours, and what you choose to do with those hours will determine whether you are moving closer to your dreams or drifting further away from them. Yet most people treat time as if it were endless, wasting hours on things that add nothing to their growth, giving their best energy to distractions, and then wondering why they feel stuck year after year. Protecting your time is not just about productivity. It is about protecting your future, your dreams, and your very purpose. One of the greatest traps of modern life is distraction. The world is designed to steal your attention. Notifications, gossip, meaningless debates, and endless scrolling on social media are all engineered to keep you occupied, but empty. You may feel busy, but being busy is not the same as being effective. The truth is that every minute spent on distractions is a minute stolen from your future. Imagine what would happen if you redirected even half of that wasted time into learning a skill, building your health, or working on your goals. Within months, your life would look completely different. Yet most people never realize this because they confuse activity with progress and noise with achievement. Protecting your time also means learning to say no. Many people ruin their future because they cannot say no to the wrong things. They say yes to meaningless invitations, to toxic people, to commitments that drain their energy, and to tasks that do not align with their goals. Every yes you give to something unimportant is a no to something that could have changed your life. It takes courage to say no, But that courage is what separates those who control their lives from those who are controlled by others. Remember this: your time is your life, and your life is too valuable to be spent pleasing everyone else while neglecting yourself. Energy is just as important as time. You can have 10 free hours in a day, but if your energy is drained, those hours will be wasted. Protecting your energy means being careful with what you allow into your heart and mind. Negative people, toxic conversations, and environments filled with complaints will drain you before you even begin your work. On the other hand, surrounding yourself with people who inspire you, places that uplift you, and activities that challenge you will multiply your energy and fuel your purpose. The choice is always yours, but the results are undeniable. Protect your energy, and your time becomes powerful. Waste your energy, and your time becomes empty. Directing your energy toward what matters most requires clarity. Too many people drift through life without knowing what they truly want, so they spend their time reacting to the demands of others instead of creating their own path. If you do not have clear goals, distractions will always look attractive. But when your vision is strong, every choice becomes easier. You instantly know what deserves your attention and what does not. That is why reflection, planning, and constant evaluation are so important. Each day you must ask yourself, am I moving closer to the life I want, or am I letting my hours be stolen by things that do not matter? What you focus on expands. If you pour your time and energy into excuses, you will become an expert at explaining failure. If you pour them into growth, you will become unstoppable. Life rewards those who protect their time as their most sacred treasure, because it is. At the end of each day, you cannot get those hours back, and at the end of your life, you cannot get those years back. Every day matters, every hour counts, and every distraction resisted is a victory for your future self. Practice gratitude and humility. Gratitude and humility may sound like soft qualities, but in truth, they are two of the most powerful forces that can transform the way you live, work, and grow. Gratitude changes the way you see the world, while humility changes the way the world sees you. Together, they form a foundation of strength, peace, and growth that no amount of money, power, or recognition can replace. When you live with gratitude and humility, you begin to carry yourself differently. You no longer chase happiness in external things, because you already find it in the present moment. And you no longer fear setbacks, because you know every lesson, even the painful ones, has something to teach you. Gratitude is not just about saying thank you when life is good. It is about recognizing the value in every season of your journey. It is easy to be grateful when things are going well, but the true test is whether you can be grateful when you face difficulties. Gratitude in hard times does not mean pretending everything is perfect. It means acknowledging that even in struggle, there are blessings hidden in plain sight. It may be the friend who supports you when no one else does, the strength you discover in yourself when challenges test you, or the small opportunities that appear just when you thought you had nothing left. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is missing to what is present, and that shift changes everything. When you practice gratitude daily, your perspective begins to expand. Instead of starting your mornings with complaints about what you lack, you begin to notice the things you already have. Your health, your family, your talents, even the simple gift of waking up to another day. Too often, people chase success with a heart full of dissatisfaction, believing that happiness comes only after they reach a certain milestone. But the truth is, if you are not grateful now, you will not be grateful later. Gratitude is not something you find at the finish line. It is something you bring with you on the journey. And when you walk with gratitude, you carry a lightness and a strength that makes every challenge easier to bear. Humility, on the other hand, is not about lowering yourself or denying your worth. It is about remembering that no matter how high you climb, you are still a student of life. Humility keeps you grounded when success arrives, and it keeps you open when failure comes. A humble person does not pretend to know everything, and that is why they never stop learning. They are not blinded by pride, so they see clearly what needs improvement. They are not obsessed with proving themselves right, so they are willing to listen, to grow, and to change. Humility is a quiet strength. It does not shout for attention, yet it commands respect. The combination of gratitude and humility creates a unique power. Gratitude keeps your heart soft, so you never take your blessings for granted, while humility keeps your mind sharp, so you never believe you have arrived. Together, They make you unshakable, because no matter what happens, you remain thankful for the good and teachable in the face of the bad. When people live without gratitude, they fall into entitlement. They begin to believe the world owes them something. When people live without humility, they fall into arrogance. They believe they are above others. Both entitlement and arrogance destroy growth, but gratitude and humility multiply it. Living with these qualities also impacts how others experience you. A grateful person spreads positivity everywhere they go. They are not the ones complaining constantly. Instead, they remind others of the good that still exists. A humble person creates space for others to shine, lifting people up rather than pushing them down. In a world full of competition and comparison, gratitude and humility make you stand out as someone who inspires trust, respect, and genuine connection. These qualities may not scream loudly like wealth or fame, but they build legacies that outlast both. Gratitude and humility are habits, not accidents. You cultivate gratitude by practicing it intentionally, by pausing each day to notice the blessings around you, no matter how small. You develop humility by reminding yourself that there is always more to learn, and by treating every person you meet with dignity and respect, regardless of their status. These are not one-time actions, they are daily choices. And with each choice, you shape not only your character, but also the direction of your life. Choose productivity over distraction. Every day you are faced with a silent battle, a battle between productivity and distraction. It may not look like a war, but it is. On one side is the life you dream of, the success you want to achieve, the person you want to become, the future you want to build. On the other side are distractions, designed to pull you away from your purpose, to steal your time, and to weaken your focus. Most people lose this battle not because they lack talent or ambition, but because they allow distraction to control their lives. And here is the painful truth: distraction is not just stealing your minutes, it is stealing your destiny. Think about how easy it is today to waste hours without realizing it. A quick glance at your phone turns into an hour of scrolling through posts that add nothing to your growth. A short conversation filled with gossip stretches into half the day gone with no progress. A little procrastination, telling yourself you'll do it tomorrow, becomes weeks, months, even years of delay. Distraction is subtle, but it is deadly because it does not take your dreams away in one big moment. It kills them slowly, minute by minute, day by day. By the time most people realize how much time they have wasted, it is already too late to recover what they have lost. Choosing productivity does not mean working nonstop or burning yourself out. Productivity is not about being busy, it is about being purposeful. Many people wear business like a badge of honor, but business without direction is just another form of distraction. True productivity means using your time and energy to move closer to your goals. It means asking yourself each day, did I build something today? Did I create progress, even a small step toward the future I want? If the answer is yes, you are productive. If the answer is no, you have been distracted, no matter how busy you felt. The difference between productive people and distracted people is not intelligence, luck, or opportunity. It is focus. Productive people know how to say no to what does not matter, so they can say yes to what truly does. They don't let the urgent steal from the important. They don't allow meaningless noise to drown out their vision. And because they guard their focus, they achieve in a year what distracted people cannot achieve in a decade. The world may look at them and call them lucky, but luck had nothing to do with it. Their secret was simply choosing productivity over distraction, day after day, until the results became undeniable. If you want to create lasting change in your life, you must begin by mastering the small decisions. Productivity is built one choice at a time. When you wake up in the morning, do you start with your goals, or do you hand your mind over to distractions? When you have an hour free, do you use it to learn, to create, to invest in yourself, or do you waste it on things that add no value? These small choices accumulate. Alone they may seem insignificant, but over weeks and months they become the difference between success and regret. Distraction will always look tempting in the moment, but productivity will always reward you in the future. Understand this: the greatest enemy of your dreams is not failure, it is distraction. Failure can teach you. Failure can push you to grow. Failure can even become the foundation of your success. But distraction does nothing for you. It teaches nothing. It builds nothing. It leaves you with nothing. And the danger of distraction is that it feels harmless. It feels like just a little wasted time. just a few moments gone. But those few moments add up, and before you know it, you have lost years you can never get back. Choosing productivity is a declaration that your life matters, that your goals are worth the effort, and that your future is too important to be sacrificed for temporary pleasures. Every time you choose productivity over distraction, you are voting for your dreams. You are telling yourself and the world that your purpose is stronger than your excuses, and that your vision is greater than your appetite for comfort. That is how great lives are built, not in one giant leap, but in the daily decision to choose focus over noise, creation over consumption, and productivity over distraction. Progress compounds. One of the greatest truths about success is that it is rarely the result of a single giant action. It is almost always the result of small, consistent steps repeated over time. Progress compounds, just like money compounds in a bank account. At first, the growth seems invisible, almost insignificant. But if you stay consistent, those small steps begin to multiply and create results far greater than you could imagine. The challenge is that most people underestimate the power of small progress, and because they cannot see immediate results, they give up too soon. They forget that the strongest trees do not grow overnight. They grow silently day by day until one day their roots are unshakable and their branches reach the sky. Imagine someone who decides to read 10 pages of a book every day. 10 pages may not look like much. It takes less than 20 minutes. But in a year, they will have read over 600 pages, the equivalent of 15 to 20 books. Compare that with the person who says, "I don't have time," and spends those 20 minutes scrolling through distractions. The first person is building a new mind, a new perspective, and a new future, while the second person is stuck exactly where they started. The difference is not talent or opportunity, but consistency. Progress compounds for those who keep going. This principle applies to every area of life. If you exercise for just 20 minutes a day, you might not see a difference in a week, but in a year your body will be stronger, your energy higher, and your health transform. If you save a small amount of money consistently, it may feel slow at first, but compounded over years, it creates financial stability and freedom. If you spend a few minutes each day practicing a skill, whether it's writing, speaking, or building something, eventually you will surpass those who only dream but never act. Progress is invisible in the short term, but undeniable in the long term. That is why the most successful people are not the ones who do extraordinary things occasionally, but the ones who do ordinary things consistently. The problem is that most people are addicted to quick results. They want instant transformation, immediate recognition, and overnight success. When they don't see progress in a few days, they convince themselves that nothing is happening and abandon the habit. But real success is like planting a seed. For weeks, maybe months, nothing seems to change. You water it, care for it, and wait. On the surface, it looks like nothing is happening, but under the soil, roots are forming. And then one day, a tiny sprout breaks through. That is how progress works. Quietly and visibly, until one day the results are so obvious that everyone calls it success. Progress compounding is also powerful because it builds momentum. Each small step makes the next step easier. When you keep promises to yourself, no matter how small, you build self-respect. That self-respect creates confidence, and confidence creates energy. Suddenly, the actions that once felt difficult become natural. Success stops feeling like a heavy burden and starts feeling like a rhythm. The discipline that once required force begins to feel like freedom, because your progress is no longer a struggle, it is a habit. And once something becomes a habit, it becomes part of your identity. What you must understand is that consistency is more valuable than intensity. Many people make the mistake of going all in for a short time, working hard for a week, starting strong with great enthusiasm. But because they cannot sustain it, they eventually quit. The truth is that slow, steady progress beats bursts of intensity every time. Small wins, repeated daily, create a compound effect that nothing can stop. Every page read, every workout completed, every hour of focused work, every small act of discipline. It all adds up, and over time, those small choices build a life that looks extraordinary to everyone else. But to you, it was simply the result of showing up every day. Small habits create big transformations. The truth about change is that it almost never comes from one big dramatic action. It comes from the little things you do every single day, the habits so small they often go unnoticed, yet over time they have the power to completely reshape your life. Small habits may not look impressive in the moment, but their impact is enormous because they compound and build momentum. If you want to change your future, you don't have to start by climbing a mountain. You start by taking one step, and then another, until one day you realize you have gone further than you ever thought possible. Most people underestimate the power of small habits because they are searching for instant results. They want the big breakthrough, the overnight transformation, the moment that changes everything at once. But life doesn't usually work that way. Greatness is built in silence through routines and disciplines that no one else sees. The writer who commits to writing 1 page a day will have a book in a year. The person who saves a small amount of money consistently will have financial stability in the future. The student who studies for just 1 focused hour each day will master subjects that overwhelm others. Success is never about massive actions once in a while. It is about small habits repeated consistently. The danger is that small habits work in both directions. Positive habits can lift your life, but negative habits can quietly destroy it. Eating unhealthy meals every day may not harm you immediately, but years later it leads to sickness and regret. Spending a little too much money daily may not feel like a problem now, but it eventually leads to financial struggle. Ignoring personal growth in small ways, skipping books, avoiding reflection, neglecting skills, may feel harmless in the short term, but it robs you of opportunities later. Every habit is a seed, and eventually it grows into something much bigger. The question is, are you planting seeds of progress or seeds of regret? The beauty of small habits is that anyone can start them, regardless of where they are in life. You don't need to be rich, talented, or lucky to build a better future. You just need discipline to take small steps every day. Reading 10 pages, exercising for 20 minutes, practicing gratitude each morning, setting aside a little money, learning a new word, writing a single paragraph. These actions are not glamorous, but they are powerful. Over time, they create a version of you that is stronger, wiser, more disciplined, and more capable than the person you were before. Think about the way a river shapes a mountain. It doesn't do it in 1 day or 1 week. It does it through the persistent, steady force of water flowing day after day. That is how small habits transform your life. They carve character into your soul, strength into your body, and clarity into your mind. You won't notice the changes immediately, but one day you will look back and realize the person you have become is the direct result of the small choices you made every single day. And here is the key: habits are not just about actions, they are about identity. When you consistently repeat small habits, you begin to see yourself differently. If you read every day, you stop seeing yourself as someone who struggles with knowledge. You see yourself as a learner. If you exercise daily, you stop viewing yourself as weak. You see yourself as someone committed to health. If you save money daily, you stop thinking of yourself as careless. You see yourself as responsible. The small habits you choose today are shaping the identity you will carry tomorrow. When people admire success, they often see only the highlight reel, the achievements, the awards, the lifestyle. What they don't see are the small daily habits that built that success. Behind every extraordinary result is someone who chose discipline over excuses, consistency over comfort, and long-term vision over short-term gratification. That is why your focus should never be only on the big dreams, but on the small steps that will get you there. Life does not transform because of one lucky break, one perfect moment, or one giant step. It transforms because of the choices you make daily, the habits you practice consistently, and the discipline you refuse to abandon even when no one is watching. Win your mornings, feed your mind, protect your time, practice gratitude and humility. Choose productivity over distraction, trust in the compounding power of progress, and commit to small habits that lead to big transformations. These are not just practices, they are principles that rewrite your future. You are not powerless. Every day, you wake up with the opportunity to direct your life, to choose growth over stagnation, and to step into the version of yourself that is waiting to be revealed. The question is not whether change is possible. The question is whether you will commit to the habits that make it inevitable. Your future is not built in years, it is built in days. Your destiny is not shaped by chance, it is shaped by choice. And every choice you make today is a brick in the foundation of the life you are building tomorrow. So do not wait for motivation, do not wait for the right time, and do not wait for someone else to give you permission. The power to change your life forever is already in your hands, hidden in the habits you choose each day. Small actions practiced with consistency will lead to extraordinary results. Begin today, stay committed, and trust the process, because the life you dream of is not far away. It is waiting for the daily habits that will carry you there.